was taken from me. Same for most of my family. And as for vengeance...
Welcome to the U.S. Marshals.
Yellowstone fans, gather around. We are just days away from the premiere of Marshals, the spin-off that promises to be the most different and jaw-dropping yet. I, for one, cannot wait to see what unfolds, and I know you're just as excited. In this video, we're diving deep into what happens in the first episode of Marshals, why Casey leaves his peaceful life behind, returns to action-packed days, and when we'll finally get to watch this thrilling series. Buckle up, because what you're about to learn might shock you. First, let's talk about why Casey says goodbye to his quiet life with Monica and Tate at East Camp. The trailer already hints at tragedy. One scene shows Casey and Tate next to someone in Casey's bed, covered with a white sheet, most likely Monica. Another shows someone approaching Casey at night with a blanket, again presumably Monica, but we never see her face. Here's my take. Monica may have been played by a stunt double in a few scenes, especially before her death. If Kelsey, as Bill, were in the series, even briefly, we'd likely see her face in the trailer. So why did Monica die? If it were natural causes, Casey might have tried to cope instead of joining the U.S. Marshals. That's why I believe Monica was murdered, likely by those hostile toward Native Americans. Supporting this theory, we'll see Thomas Rainwater and Mo return. Thomas has always stepped in whenever something threatens Native Americans. In Marshals, Thomas and Mo may pursue Monica's killer in their own way, while Casey hunts alongside the Marshals. And there's another person I think will seek revenge for Monica: Tate. He's always been the most traumatized character in Yellowstone, and witnessing his mother's death could push him over the edge. No longer a child, Tate may hunt Monica's killers on his own, leaving Casey and Thomas struggling to keep him in check, especially with Casey tied up in Marshal duties. So who calls Casey to the U.S. Marshals? That would be Pete Calvin, Casey's former SEAL team leader, played by Logan Marshall Green. From the trailers, it's clear Pete cares deeply for Casey and is a consummate professional, likely the one supporting him through heartbreak while pushing him back into action. Now, let's meet the rest of the Marshals. Andrea, Ash Santos, a Bronx native exiled to Montana after speaking up at the wrong time. Depending on her motivations, she could either be an ethical powerhouse or a wild card who escalates tension for the team. Belle, Ariel Cabell, a former ATF agent who thrives undercover. Belle is mysterious yet warm, and she may be the one helping Casey adapt to martial life and start healing after Monica. Miles, Tatanka Means, a former Broken Rock Reservation cop who quit after growing tired of policing his own community. He's a morally strong character, and seeing a Native American hero like him only deepens the story's richness. Here's where it gets really exciting. Marshals promises more action than any Yellowstone spin-off before. While we may not see many familiar faces, there will be moments connecting this series to the Yellowstone universe. For example, Monica's funeral could feature Beth, Rip, and other Yellowstone veterans, and Tate might reach out to them as he grapples with his grief. I'm glad the connection to Yellowstone won't be completely lost. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. When can you watch it? The first episode of Marshals premieres on March 1st on CBS. Get ready for drama, action, and an emotional ride. Now it's your turn. Do you think Monica was really murdered? What do you think we'll see in Marshals? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're curious about the other Yellowstone spin-off, 1969, check out this video next. Imagine a world where peace is shattered in an instant, where a quiet life you've built can vanish overnight, and the only path forward is through danger, heartbreak, and revenge. That's exactly what we are about to witness in the official trailer for Marshals Episode 1. Yellowstone fans, get ready, because this spin-off promises to be unlike anything we've seen before, filled with emotional twists, high-stakes action, and mysteries that will leave you on the edge of your seat. From the very first scenes, the trailer sets a tone of suspense, showing us that Casey's life has been turned upside down, and the world he thought he understood is now filled with threats, secrets, and heartbreak. The tension is immediate. You can feel the weight of loss pressing down, and the trailer hints that this is only the beginning of a journey that will test Casey, Tate, and the new members of the Marshals team in ways we could never imagine. Every frame seems carefully crafted to pull us deeper into a story where loyalty, justice, and family collide. But what truly makes this first look so compelling is the emotional gravity behind it, the hints of tragedy, the shadow of revenge, and the promise of explosive action that's ready to erupt at any moment. This isn't just another spin-off. This is a story that will challenge everything we think we know about the Yellowstone universe. And from the trailer alone, it's clear that the stakes are higher, the dangers are deadlier, and the emotional beats hit harder than ever before. So let's dive into the first episode, uncover what the trailer reveals, and break down why Marshals is already shaping up to be the most thrilling addition to the Yellowstone family. From the very first moments of the trailer, it's clear that Casey's world has been rocked to its core. The scenes immediately suggest that the peaceful life he built with Monica and Tate at East Camp is gone, replaced by an emotional and physical battlefield he must navigate. One of the most chilling moments hints at a tragedy that changes everything. Monica, lying motionless under a white sheet, her face hidden, shrouded in mystery, leaving us to wonder what really happened to her. This one image alone sends a shockwave of suspense through the audience. And then there's the night scene where someone approaches Casey with a blanket. Again, a figure that feels familiar yet distant, hinting at the presence of Monica, but not revealing her identity fully. The trailer carefully withholds crucial information, building tension and making viewers question every detail. Why is her face hidden? Could this be a stunt double, or is it a narrative choice to keep the mystery alive? From the subtle hints and emotional cues, it's impossible to ignore that Monica's death isn't natural. If it were, Casey might have found a way to cope without being drawn back into action. But the trailer strongly suggests something darker, an attack, perhaps from individuals hostile to Native Americans, a thread that also ties back to Thomas Rainwater and Mo, who we know have historically stood up for their community. Their presence in the trailer hints that Monica's death will ripple through multiple storylines, drawing together different characters in a shared quest for justice. Casey's grief, coupled with the looming threat of revenge, sets the tone for a first episode filled with tension, heartache, and the looming possibility of violence. Tate, now older and more aware of the harsh realities of life, appears deeply affected. The trailer makes it clear that his trauma is not over. Seeing his mother's death could push him to seek his own form of vengeance, potentially running ahead of the Marshals team, creating another layer of suspense as Casey and the others struggle to keep him safe. The trailer masterfully sets up a dual storyline. While Casey is pulled into the structured world of the U.S. Marshals under the leadership of Pete Calvin, Tate may forge his own dangerous path, creating conflict, emotional intensity, and unpredictability from the very first episode. The combination of personal loss, impending revenge, and the challenges of navigating a high-stakes world gives the trailer an almost cinematic intensity. Every moment seems designed to pull viewers deeper into the story, making them invest emotionally while keeping them guessing. It's a delicate balance of suspense and narrative foreshadowing, and the trailer hits it perfectly, making it clear that Marshals is not just about law enforcement action. It's about heart, loss, and the consequences of choices made under pressure. By the time the first scene ends, viewers are left with a single powerful question. How far will Casey, Tate, and the team go to seek justice, protect each other, and confront the enemies that threaten their world? That question hangs in the air as the trailer fades, leaving fans on the edge of their seats, hungry for answers and eagerly anticipating the full story that will unfold in episode 1. The most burning question from the trailer, and probably from every Yellowstone fan watching, is simple but devastating. Who killed Monica? From the very first shots, it's clear that her death will be the driving force of the entire series. The trailer doesn't just hint at tragedy, it demands that we pay attention, piece by piece, to understand the mystery that will set Casey and the new Marshals team on a collision course with danger. Every frame seems carefully designed to make us ask the same question over and over again. Was it a random act of violence, or was it something more targeted, more personal? The subtle clues point to something far more sinister than a natural cause or accident. From the shadows and tense imagery, the trailer suggests Monica's death might involve enemies of Native Americans, tying into Thomas Rainwater and Mo's likely involvement in the story. Their presence hints at justice sought not only by law but also by personal and cultural loyalty. It's almost as if the Yellowstone universe is reminding us that in this world, tragedy is never simple, and the consequences of one violent act ripple through families, friendships, and communities alike. Casey's role as a U.S. Marshal will put him in a position where he must balance the professional pursuit of justice with the personal need for vengeance. The trailer shows moments of his heartbreak, grief that threatens to consume him and push him beyond rules and protocols. Yet the story seems to suggest he won't be alone. Pete Calvin, his former SEAL team leader and now head of the Marshals, is poised to guide him, acting as both mentor and protector, ensuring that Casey's desire for revenge doesn't completely derail his sense of duty. Still, the question of Monica's killer remains. Could it be a lone individual, someone seeking personal gain, or is it part of a larger conspiracy that will unfold throughout the season? The trailer offers subtle hints, shadows moving, suspicious figures in the background, brief flashes of tension that feel almost cinematic in their delivery. Every detail invites speculation and encourages fans to read between the lines. Tate's perspective adds another layer of unpredictability. Unlike Casey, he may not be bound by rules or strategy. The trailer suggests that his grief could become the fuel for his own quest for vengeance. Tate's actions may lead him into dangerous territory, forcing both Casey and Thomas to try to keep him safe while still pursuing justice themselves. This dual narrative, the official law enforcement investigation, and Tate's personal raw pursuit of revenge, adds tension and depth to the story. It promises unpredictable outcomes, with every choice carrying consequences that could shake the Marshals' team dynamic to its core. What makes this mystery even more compelling is the moral ambiguity it introduces. The trailer hints that the killer may not be entirely faceless or nameless. The people responsible for Monica's death could be individuals with hidden motives, secrets tied to the Yellowstone universe, or antagonists representing larger societal tensions. By weaving in these layers, the first episode doesn't just promise action, it promises emotional complexity, ethical dilemmas, and suspense that will keep fans guessing until the very end. Every scene in the trailer seems to whisper, "Nothing is as it seems," and every character may have a role to play in revealing the truth. As fans, we are left with a haunting anticipation. The trailer provides no clear answers, only suspense, heartbreak, and the promise of explosive revelations. Every glance, every movement, and every reaction shown in the trailer signals that Monica's death will not only define Casey's journey, but also set the tone for the series. Who killed Monica? That is the mystery we will spend the first episode, and likely the entire season, trying to unravel. The tension is so thick, it feels almost tangible, leaving us on edge, desperate to know not just the how, but the why, the motive, and the ultimate consequences. Marshals Episode 1 promises to take us through grief, justice, revenge, and emotional turmoil like never before, and the question of Monica's death will haunt every scene, keeping viewers riveted from start to finish. The first episode of Marshals promises to be a roller coaster from the very start, plunging Casey straight into a world that combines heartbreak, danger, and high-stakes action. From the trailer, it's clear that the show won't waste a single moment building up. It throws viewers right into the emotional and physical chaos that will define Casey's new life as a U.S. Marshal. The episode opens with the devastating aftermath of Monica's death, immediately setting a tone of grief and urgency. Casey is no longer just a man protecting his family and his home. He is a man who has lost everything and must now navigate a world full of danger, moral dilemmas, and impossible choices. The trailer makes it clear that the emotional weight on Casey's shoulders will drive every decision he makes in this first episode. It's not just about enforcing the law. It's about justice, revenge, and trying to survive in a world that suddenly feels more threatening than ever. One of the most compelling elements revealed in the trailer is Casey's reunion with Pete Calvin, his former SEAL team leader, who is now in charge of the Marshals. Pete's presence is critical, not just for the action-packed sequences, but for the emotional grounding he provides Casey. The trailer shows Pete as professional, calm and protective, acting as the anchor that Casey needs as he begins to step back into the dangerous world he left behind. Through Pete, we can already sense the balance between personal grief and professional responsibility that will define the episode. Casey's training and experience as a SEAL are central, but the real challenge comes from controlling his emotions while facing the killers of the woman he loved. The trailer gives subtle hints that this tension will be a core driving force for Episode 1. The episode also introduces the other members of the Marshals team, each with distinct personalities and backgrounds that promise to add layers of tension, intrigue, and excitement. Andrea, played by Ash Santos, is a Bronx native with a history of speaking out, which may have cost her previous employment. The trailer teases her as someone who is both intelligent and fearless, likely to challenge Casey and the team in unexpected ways. Belle, portrayed by Ariel Kebbel, brings mystery and warmth, a potential stabilizing influence for Casey, but also someone whose past as an undercover ATF agent suggests she can handle danger with finesse. And then there is Miles, played by Tatanka Means, whose morally strong character and deep connection to the Broken Rock Reservation suggest he will not only provide crucial insight into Native American communities, but also bring his own moral compass into the team's operations. The trailer emphasizes teamwork, but also the possibility of friction, as strong personalities collide while trying to hunt down Monica's killer and maintain order in their dangerous assignments. From the trailer, it's clear that Episode 1 will blend personal stakes with procedural tension. We see flashes of action, moments of stealth, and hints of investigations that suggest the Marshals will be confronting threats on multiple fronts. But it's not just about fighting criminals, it's about navigating the emotional aftermath of tragedy. Casey's heartbreak and Tate's trauma are central, driving the narrative forward while keeping viewers emotionally invested. The trailer shows that even in a high-octane environment, the personal stakes remain front and center. Every scene seems designed to remind us that this isn't just a story about law enforcement, it's a story about family, loss, and the lengths people will go to protect and avenge the ones they love. Finally, the trailer leaves us with questions that will define the episode. How will Casey adapt to the Marshals' world after such a devastating loss? Will Tate act on his grief in ways that put him in danger? How will the new team members fit into this complex emotional and professional puzzle? Even without revealing every scene, the trailer makes it clear that Episode 1 will be an emotional and thrilling ride from beginning to end. Every moment, from the quiet grief to the explosive action, is crafted to pull viewers deeper into the story, setting up not just a series of events, but an emotional journey that promises to leave fans desperate for the next episode. The stakes are high, the tension is palpable, and Marshals Episode 1 is already shaping up to be an unforgettable start to what promises to be the most action-packed and emotionally intense Yellowstone spin-off yet. The trailer for Marshals Episode 1 doesn't just tease action and law enforcement drama, it drops hints of a devastating tragedy that will shake the Yellowstone universe to its core. From the very beginning, the emotional weight of loss is palpable. The imagery is subtle yet haunting. A white sheet covering a body, shadowed figures moving silently, and the quiet desperation in Casey's eyes. These glimpses, brief as they may be, immediately signal that something shocking has occurred, something that will drive the entire story of the series. Fans watching the trailer can feel the tension build with every second, as the narrative hints at the kind of tragedy that will forever alter the lives of Casey, Tate, and everyone connected to them. Monica's death, suggested through these carefully framed scenes, is the central catalyst for the series, pushing Casey back into a world he thought he had left behind. It's the kind of moment that fans never saw coming, a turning point that transforms what could have been just another spin-off into a deeply emotional, high-stakes story.